Hey, you guys, I am so glad you are here. Welcome to the 30-day cleanse. This is one of my favorite parts of working with doTERRA. 5 or so years ago, when I first got started with this company, this is this was my excitement point, which was so bizarre to some people because it's a detox and there are detox symptoms, and it's not everybody's favorite. But I've always just been drawn to like all things health and wellness and physical health from the inside out. So this was like a mountain I wanted to tackle. And I love it. So I'm happy that I get to be able to share it with you all these years later. So the 30-day cleanse is, yes, it's a full 30 days, but it's broken up into three 10-day sections where we have different focuses. The very beginning phase is the activate section. And while you do the activate supplements for the first 10 days, you also continue to do them throughout the rest of the program till the end. So it's your foundation. You're going to use the Lifelong Vitality supplements, which many of you, if not all of you, are already familiar with. So good on you for maintaining your healthy foundation on a regular basis. In addition to the Lifelong Vitality Pack, you will also be using Terrazyme and Zendocrine supplements. So the Terrazyme is an enzyme, a whole foods enzyme that you take with food to help break down food. Now, if you take it without food, it actually serves a completely different purpose. It'll help to flush out tissue that is damaged. It'll flush out scar tissue as well as cystic growths. And it really just helps the body to repair itself. So if you choose to, you can do both. And it'll be the difference of having one bottle of Terrazyme or two bottles of Terrazyme. So I just want you to know that up front, that there is the option to just use the one bottle and take the Terrazyme with your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you want to go the extra step forward with a full body revamp here, you'll get a second bottle of that Terrazyme in your order so that you can have one Terrazyme in the morning on an empty stomach and one Terrazyme before bed on an empty stomach. And again, this helps take it to a whole other level beyond digestive enzymes. Now we're using the enzymes for a different purpose, for all our metabolic processes and tissue repair. And then also during the activate phase, you'll be using the Zendocrine supplements. So Zendocrine complex and Zendocrine soft gels are not the same thing. You do need a bottle of each. The Zendocrine complex works to support your filter organs. So that is your liver, your kidneys, your colon. Those are the obvious ones, right? Those filter your body. They help with the elimination process. But don't forget your lungs and your skin are also a big part of the detoxification process. So Zendocrine is an herbal supplement that helps to support those organs while we're facilitating this full body detox. The Zendocrine soft gels are actually doing the detoxification. So the Zendocrine soft gels are a blend of essential oils that will detox your blood and your filter organs. So you want to be using both of them in tandem so that you're supporting the organs and really cleansing the organs with the complex. And then you have clean, supported filter organs while you're flushing all the toxins out of your system. I hope that makes sense. And then the other product that's a big part of the activate phase is lemon essential oil. This is an essential oil that, as you know, is all things cleansing. It helps to clean the filter organs again, with an emphasis on helping out with cleansing the kidney. And it also is an essential oil that helps the body to produce a antioxidant called glutathione, which is an amazing antioxidant, super strong, that our body already produces on its own. Lemon helps us to produce more of it. And what that means is reduced inflammation. It helps to fight the aging process. It helps with energy. So lemon is just an all-around great oil to have in your drinking water throughout the cleanse. And I think I mentioned it in this little presentation, but half your body weight in ounces of water is the bare minimum. And Lemon's awesome for filtering your filter organs or cleaning your filter organs, but the other citrus oils are great as well. So if you want to mix it up, you get a little board, use wild orange, use lime, use grapefruit. Hey, if you have Slim and Sassy, add Slim and Sassy in because that's also going to help curb any cravings. So that's the activate phase. And again, we do that days 1 through 10, but then also 11 through 30. So it's for the entire cleanse. You're going to want to get into a really good routine with making sure you're taking those supplements every single day. Now on days 11 through 20, we continue to take the Activate supplements, and then we add in the Reset supplement, which is GX Assist. Now, up until this point, we've really been focusing on the filter organs and detoxifying the body. GX Assist is what really sets this cleanse apart from other cleanses, where we're not just focusing on detoxing, we're also addressing gut imbalances. So if you've ever had caffeine or sugar or antibiotics, you are alcohol. Did I say alcohol? Alcohol, sugar, and antibiotics are the main three that I wanted to say. Those are substances that feed what is called yeast. And yeast is a bacteria that we really don't want in our gut. We want probiotics. There is between 3 and 6 pounds of bacteria living symbiotically in our body. Now, if we can get a handle on the ratio of good to bad bacteria in that 3 to 6 pounds, which, by the way, our brain weighs about 6 pounds. So it could be argued that the gut bacteria have as much sway and pull in our body as our own brain. But if we can get a handle on the ratio of good to bad bacteria in our gut, then we can manage a lot of other things going on in our body. So gut disturbances are the root cause of autoimmune disorders, and autoimmune disorders look like things that we never really thought of as autoimmune disorders, like migraines and arthritis and diabetes and eczema. All this stuff stems back to the health of the gut. So GX Assist, what it does is it helps to make the gut an unfriendly environment to yeast. And when that happens, the yeast is like, I'm out of here. Some of it dies off and you flush it through your system. You excrete it through your filter organs. So another good reason why we really want to have good, strong filter organs. And when that happens, it allows for more space for your good, healthy probiotics to flourish. So we're making space for the good and letting go that which no longer serves us. So GX Assist, this is an important part of the cleanse too, because you really want to have a handle on the types of foods you're consuming, which I'll talk about in a minute. This is a detox. So if you're introducing toxic things to your body while you're actively detoxing, you're going to increase your detox symptoms. So we don't want to do that. We want to make this an easy ride for you as much as possible. So just keep that in mind while we talk about what you're going to eat and what you're not going to eat. All right, so at the end of the first 20 days, you stop taking the GX Assist. You no longer take it. You can put the bottle away. And then we move into the renew phase. So now that we've cleaned up our filter organs, we've detoxed our body, and we're continuing to detox. And we've also flushed out the bad bacteria out of our gut. Now we're going to replace that bad bacteria with healthy bacteria. And we're going to give it food that it needs so that it can grow and proliferate. And we're also going to introduce a supplement called DDR Prime, which is a blend of essential oils, including frankincense and wild orange and clove. And what this supplement does is it helps your now clean and healthy cells to duplicate and reproduce themselves. So now that we've cleaned up all our cells, we want to reproduce those good healthy cells, right? So DDR Prime works in a couple different ways. One, it causes something called apoptosis, or it increases apoptosis, which is healthy cellular death. And that sounds dramatic, but cellular death is something that we welcome because it means that we are reproducing healthy cells, that we have good healthy cells all the time. So when we've done all this work to clean up our body, what's cool now is we've gotten rid of the bad cells, and now we're ready to reproduce only healthy cells with healthy DNA. So it's really cool. You basically get a full body makeover when you're doing this. So let's take a look at a little bit more information to get you ready for day one. So this is this will be available to you to print out and have next to your supplements wherever you might have them. Now, keeping in mind, if you are not home all the time, so like you don't work from home, maybe you are home in the morning and you're at the office in the afternoon and you're home in the evening again, you want to make sure you're set up for success. And what does that mean? You want to have your supplements where you are, where it's going to be easy and convenient for you to take them at the time you need to take them. So you want to, when you get a hold of this, and I will put the file up right in the Facebook group, so you'll have it. Reach out to me individually if you aren't sure where to get it. So when you have this printed out, just make sure you have it next to your supplements. I keep mine in the kitchen. That's where my supplements are. That's where I take all my meals. So that's convenient for me. If you're in and out of the house though, you wanna, make sure you have some type of something like a pill case, like something like this. You can get these on Amazon, maybe not with the doTERRA name on them, but you can get a little pill case on Amazon really, really cheap, and have your supplements ready to go at the office or wherever it is that you're planning to be, or in your purse. And then have this little checkoff sheet with you so that you can keep track of what you've done. Sounds like a really simple no-brainer thing, but I'm telling you, it's the little things that make this cleanse go more smoothly. So try it out. I'm more of a fan of this graphic for explaining how the cleanse works. So I will just pop through this really, really quickly. In the activate phase, which is really days 1 through 30, so the entire time you can get really into a routine with doing this. If you choose to, you can do the Terrazyme upon waking up and then before bed. See how I have it written out as optional. If you choose not to do that, so if you get just one bottle of the Terrazyme, then you're going to start your supplements with your morning meal. So that the Lifelong Vitality is Alpha CRS, Microplex MVZ, and the XE Omega. You're going to take 1 to 2 of those with your morning meal. So I say 1 to 2 because if you've never taken Lifelong Vitality before, or if this cleanse is brand new to you, in general, this whole thing, this is a lot of new supplements if you've never done it before. If that is the case, with the Lifelong Vitality, I want you to just start with a half dose. So that would be 1 in the morning and then 1 in your evening meal. If you're a seasoned veteran and you're used to the supplements, then please go all in with 2 with your morning meals. I do say specifically with your morning meal, not because they'll necessarily upset your stomach, but because when you take the supplements with protein, with your macronutrients, you are absorbing and metabolizing the nutrients in the supplement better. So it's just really a better idea to take these supplements with food so that you get everything out of it. Okay, and now you're going to take 1 Terrazyme with that meal as well. And then you'll also take your Zendocrine Complex and your Zendocrine Soft Gel. So however you can get it in, get them in. I got really good at taking a fistful of supplements with 1 big gulp of water. It might take you a couple gulps, but that's okay. We're doing half our body weight in ounces of water anyway, so you'll need the water. All right, so with the afternoon meal, during the activate phase, we're just taking 1 supplement. We're taking the Terrazyme to help digest our food. And then in the evening meal, you're going to do exactly what you did for the morning meal all over again. So your Lifelong Vitality, 1 Terrazyme, 1 Zendocrine Complex, and 1 Zendocrine Soft Gel. And then before bed, you're going to pop a Terrazyme. And again, that's just going to help to flush out any unwanted tissue cells that are sick or not functioning properly. And then in the reset phase, that's days 12 through 20, Terrazyme upon waking, that's optional. You're going to take your Lifelong Vitality. Again, that's Alpha CRS, Microplex MVZ, the XE Omega. Those are your 3 Lifelong Vitality supplements. And then 1 Terrazyme, 1 of each of the Zendocrine supplements. and then an optional GX Assist. For lunch, you're going to do a Terrazyme and an optional GX Assist. For dinner or your evening meal, whatever that looks like, you're going to do Alpha CRS, Microplex, MVZ, XE Omega, Terrazyme, the 2 Zendocrins, and your GX Assist. So I want to focus on this GX Assist a little bit for a second. Again, if you've never done a cleanse before, I don't want you taking GX Assist 3 times throughout the day. That's going to be overkill for your system probably. What I would recommend is go in with just the one with your evening meal. And you want to listen to your body and see what that feels like. So there can be some intestinal discomfort when you take GX Assist. I never had any issues, but I have had some people have a little bit of discomfort and maybe even constipation. It's just everybody's body is different. Well, somebody might have constipation. You might feel like you have the runs a little bit. Or maybe it'll be nothing. So I don't want to scare you. It could just be, you might not feel very different at all. And that's great. So when you take your 1 GX Assist, listen to your body, see how it feels. And as the days go on, so keeping in mind that the reset phase is 10 days, if you're feeling like you can do another one, then add in one at your lunchtime meal. And again, keeping on listening to your body. And if you feel like you can add in a 3rd one, then go for it. Add in a 3rd one at your morning meal. I think the theme throughout this entire thing is really listening to your body, not only with these supplements, but with food, which we'll talk about in a minute. So that's your second set of 10 days. Your last set of 10 days is the renew phase. And it looks very similar where you're taking your Terrazyme in the morning optional, your Lifelong Vitality, Terrazyme, and Zendocrine soft supplements, soft gel in the complex. Plus now you're going to take 1 to 2 DDR prime. And again, it's a listening to your body type of thing. Start with 1 and then get familiar with it and then introduce the second one. Then with your lunch or your afternoon meal, you're going to have a Terrazyme. And then your evening meal looks just like your morning meal then. And here's the difference now. You're going to take your optional Terrazyme if that's how you decided to go about this. And you're going to take 3 of the PB Assist. So you'll notice that the PB Assist supplement, the bottle itself has 30 of the PB Assist in it. So you will need a full bottle of this, and you're going to go through that full bottle in 10 days. And I don't think I talked about the PB Assist on the previous page, so I'm so sorry. PB Assist is a probiotic. We reintroduce this healthy probiotic after we flushed out all the yeast. Now we have a space for it. And within that probiotic is prebiotic, which is the probiotics food. You can think of it like mulch for your garden. It just helps the probiotic to have everything that it needs when it gets to the place that we want it, which is in our small intestine. So another cool thing about the probiotic is the capsule itself is designed so that it can bypass the gastric juices in your stomach. The problem with a lot of probiotics out in the market is that when you ingest them, that probiotic, it digests in your stomach and that acid kills all that healthy bacteria. So this is an enteric coated type of supplement, which means that it bypasses the stomach and gets into your intestines where we want it to dissolve and take hold. That's where we need bacteria. We don't need bacteria in our stomach, and it wouldn't survive there anyway. And a theme throughout this whole thing is drinking water. When you are detoxing, you are dislodging toxins from your fat cells, from your kidneys, from your liver, from all over your body, from your lymph nodes. Those are becoming loose in your body, and we want to get them to where they need to be, which is through your filter organs. And the only way we can do that is if we're drinking water. Our body is largely made up of water, and we need to make sure that we're constantly hydrating. So half your body weight in ounces of water is the starting point. I know that I do that like probably before 11 a.m. every day. So I do continue to drink water throughout the day, but that's the starting point. Just keep in mind, when you're thinking about it, how much water am I really taking in? Is it half my body weight in ounces of water? You'll start to get kind of really smart about it if you start paying attention to it. So one of the biggest questions people have when doing a cleanse, when walking into something like this, is what are you taking away, right? Like, what foods can I not eat? Where are my pain points? So I want to walk into this, you guys, with more of an abundance mentality. Look at all the awesome foods you can eat. Oh my God, you guys, there's so much good stuff here. This is actually a list of foods that are great for gut health. So it's a good kind of like a shopping list, and I can share this with you too in the group if you want to use this as a guide when you're shopping. But there's so much good food here. You can eat all the vegetables, you can eat all the fruit, you can eat all the meat, all the healthy fats, and you can make some really incredible meals. And I'll share with you kind of where I get my cooking inspiration from. Now we do have to address the question of what can I not eat? And I don't think any of this will come as a surprise to you, because we are detoxing. We don't want to introduce toxic things into our system. Again, that's just going to increase your detox symptoms, which are headache, bad breath, rashes, acne. Also, I'm not telling you that to scare you, but just to let you know that if you can minimize the amount of toxins that you're taking in, you can minimize that experience for yourself. You're in the driver's seat. Okay, so things you want to eliminate. And by eliminate, I mean, you can't have them. There's no wiggle room in this category. So alcohol, processed sugar, and processed foods. Alcohol, again, it just helps to support the yeast in your gut, and it turns into sugar in your system. And sugar spikes there's something that you really, really, really want to avoid. And then, you know how you feel after you have some alcohol, you have a little bit of a hangover. Well, if you're having alcohol during a detox, you're gonna just amplify those hangover symptoms as well. Processed sugar, again, this is something that just causes inflammation in the body. It helps support the growth of yeast in our system, which we do not want. And then processed foods, we're avoiding processed foods for a lot of those same reasons. They come with a lot of hidden sugars, not to mention ingredients that are non-food, things that are included in the processing of the food to increase the shelf life. And you'll recognize those on the labels. They're usually 6 or 7 syllables long, and they look like a chemistry equation. So these are things that we are completely eliminating, and this I attribute to is one of the things that I attribute to how good you will feel when you get into this cleanse. The first couple days you might be experiencing some detox symptoms, but things will turn around as you're going through. Things you want to avoid. You know, I kind of was torn about where to put caffeine on these two lists. I don't want to tell you that you cannot have coffee or that you cannot have caffeine, but I will tell you that if you are having detox symptoms, it might be because of the level of caffeine that you are ingesting. So when I first did this cleanse, I was addicted to caffeine. Coffee specifically, I would probably have 3 to 4 cups a day throughout my workday. And I cut it out completely, but I did still need something to help with the headaches, because I did get a little bit of a detox headache midday for a couple days. So I would either take a sip or 2 of coffee just to get that quick shot of caffeine to eliminate the headache, or I'd make myself a low caffeine tea, like herbal teas are caffeine free, but something with a little bit of caffeine in it, like green tea or a black tea. Which, while those do have caffeine in them, it's a small fraction compared to what's in a cup of coffee. So I would do that until I weaned myself off of caffeine completely. Now, mind you, I don't drink caffeine because I get heart palpitations, and that's the main driver why I cut caffeine out. But during this cleanse, it'll be good for you to really feel your body and get back in touch with those circadian rhythms. without forcing your body to be awake at certain times and sleeping at certain times. You'll get more into a rhythm. And caffeine's a big issue with some of those things. The reason we're avoiding it specifically, though, is because of the detox symptoms. So just be really smart, be mindful, listen to your body, cut back when you notice that you're not feeling super great. Gluten, another thing that I was torn with either eliminating or avoiding. I personally would eliminate it. I already have eliminated it, but I know that I have a sensitivity to it. And I think that a lot of people do. And it's worth doing the experiment to see if you do have any sort of sensitivity there. Dairy is another one that's really a very common irritant or allergen. So avoiding that or completely eliminating that is a really cool way to do this cleanse. Soy products. So you probably don't need a ton of things that look like soy products, but if you are eating anything that has like supplement facts on the back of the box, you're going to find oftentimes in those ingredient lists, there are soy products. Soy and wheat and corn are the largest crops in the US, and they're cheap, they're subsidized by the government, and they find their way into everything, including our dog's food, because they're a cheap filler. But you got to ask your question, you got to ask yourself this question, is it really serving your body? So keep an eye out for that. And let me backtrack over here to the eliminate side of this. When we're talking about processed foods, it's really anything that's packaged. You got to think of it as a processed food. My rule of thumb is if it's packaged and it has an ingredients list, does it have 5 or less ingredients on that list? And are they all ingredients that I recognize as food? I have a really good example of this. Recently, I bought frozen shredded potatoes to make hash browns. I have a client who is addicted to the hash browns at McDonald's, and I wanted to teach her how to make hash browns at home. So I got myself the frozen potatoes, and lo and behold, on the ingredients list, and they're just shredded potatoes. That's all they are. There's like a dipotassium something on there. And then the third ingredient is dextrose. Dextrose is a chemical form of sugar. What the hell, you guys? Why are they doing that? It's just shredded potatoes. So you gotta look. You gotta look at the ingredients. Dextrose is not a food. It's not a food that your great grandparents would have recognized or could grow in the backyard. So it does not make the list. Reading labels is going to be your best ally. And I'm not asking you to count macros if you want to pay attention to sodium values, you can. But really, it's the quality of ingredients. It's the quality of the ingredients. What is in the food? So that being said, if you do think that you might be experiencing some type of food sensitivity or allergy, you can take this cleanse a step even further. And this is how I did my first cleanse. I took everything out, every single thing that is a potential allergen. And this is a pretty conclusive list here. And I took it out of my diet. And then you've heard of an elimination diet before. This is what it is. You pull out foods that could be potential triggers. And then after a period of 21 to 30 days, you reintroduce one food group at a time and see how your body reacts. Are you feeling it? Where are you feeling it? Is your skin different? Are your migraines back? Does your body ache? Do you have mood swings? Are you experiencing intestinal discomfort? Is it gas? Is it bloating? Is it diarrhea? You can tie all of those things back to a specific food sensitivity in many, many cases. So just so you know too, it does take 21 days for an allergen or an irritant to be fully removed from your system. So you could experience symptoms days after you've had something because it's still floating around in your system. So when you do an elimination diet, it's usually a standard 21 to 30 days. I'm recommending 30 days because we are imperfect humans. And there's a possibility that in the beginning, this will be really challenging and you might slip up. So that'll give you a better chance of having a good solid 21 days of not having the irritant or allergen in your system. And I'm by no means telling you that you need to eliminate all of these things to do an elimination diet. If you suspect it's gluten, or you suspect it's dairy or eggs, or a combination of the three, just do those three, or just do gluten and reintroduce that gluten at the end and then see what happens. It's an experiment. You know, we're a work in progress, and we don't necessarily need somebody else to tell us what's going on with our body if we are mindful and we take steps to protect ourselves and to really understand and know what our body needs. So that's my my recommendation for you if you are feeling like you might have something going on. Gluten, dairy, eggs, soy, nuts, shellfish, nightshade veggies, which are tomatoes and eggplant. And there's other ones, but I don't know them off the top of my head. Citrus could be a potential, and then corn. Would you look at that? And just note corn, soy, gluten, heavily processed heavily processed crops in our country. And because of that, the product has changed over the last century, and our body hasn't changed much over the last century. You know, evolution doesn't move that fast. So when the food supply changes, our body doesn't always like it. So keep those things in mind, what's going on out there. All right, thank you guys. This was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I just love this topic so much though. Please reach out with any questions you have, and I'm happy to help, and I'll be here, so let me know. Take care.